Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Berlinale Talents. Thank you for showing up. We have an interesting talk today about and with the makers of a film called Chronicles from the Siege. We're very, very happy to have a talk which is not only film related. I don't know who of you have seen the film already. Oh, that's quite a lot. Super, so we know who's in the room. The film had its premiere yesterday and a rescreening today, and is stirring up very, very much positive feedback for the festival and for everyone who's seen it, because it's witty, it's smart, and it's a lesson for us also. So we're gonna watch a clip first before I ask Rabia, our moderator, Rana, Abdallah, and Talal on stage to discuss how it was shooting the film, what it meant for them, and what it means until now to be here with the movie in the festival. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, marhaba. Schönen guten Nachmittag. What you've seen is an extract of the film Little Palestine, Diaries of a Siege, فلسطين الصغيرة يوميات الحصار, which is the first feature documentary directed by filmmaker Abdallah Alkhatib. This is the film that made him known to the world as a filmmaker. It was shot in the Yarmouk camp in Damascus in Syria, where Abdallah was born. It was the biggest Palestinian refugee camp in the world from 1957 to 2018. And between 2013 and 2015, this camp was under siege. And Abdallah has documented with some friends of his how life under siege has changed their lives and how difficult it was for them to get access to food, to medical equipment, and how this siege has changed their lives. There was such a community spirit in that film. He shot it with a group of friends. He shot it with his mother as well, who was very active, very generous in the film. We wanted to show you some clips from that documentary before we move into his fiction feature debut, Chronicles from the Siege, وقائع زمن الحصار, which celebrated its world premiere yesterday. Tonight we're going to discuss the making of that fiction feature with a special emphasis on the documentary-like feel of its camera work and also the stellar work on its sound design. And for that, I'm very thrilled to welcome director Abdallah Alkhatib. The sound designer Rana Eid. And the cinematographer Talal Khoury.
It's so weird for me. So many of my friends are here to hearing me speaking about cinema, and in real life, when I'm speaking about cinema, they say, "Shut up your mouth." What the fuck, guys? Anyways, welcome here.
Wait for the questions. Wait for the questions.
Yeah, sorry.
It's going to be challenging. So I'm very happy to have you all. Abdallah, as I mentioned, I already mentioned a tiny bit of your biography, but I want to say that you did a feature documentary debut, which was done in 2021, Little Palestine, Diaries of a Siege. You also did a short film, a very moving short film, also funny, about migration with Hiyam Abbas, who was with us yesterday here, and you celebrated your premiere, Chronicles from the Siege, وقائع من زمن الحصار, yesterday. We also had a wonderful screening just now at Cubics, and there is also a screening tomorrow for whoever has missed it and wants to see it. I'm also very thrilled to welcome Rana Eid. Rana is part of the Talents family, comes every year to just mess with your brain a bit. with her sound bites. Rana has been interested from a very early age in sound and ambient sounds of her city, Beirut, where she was born, and she decided to study cinema, and then with emphasis on sound design. When Rana was born, Israeli aircrafts were touring over her heads incessantly, and that's what pushed her to work on sound. And since then, she has established a studio, DB Studios in Beirut, with composer Nadim Mashlewi. She worked on 2 Academy Award-nominated documentaries, The Cave by Firas Fayyad and Honeyland by Tamara Kotevska and Lyubomir Stefanov. She has worked on the sound design of Hot Milk last year, which premiered in competition at the Berlinale, by Rebecca Linkiewicz, and also on the Chilean musical La Ola, which premiered in Cannes last year. This year at the Berlinale, she did the sound design for Chronicles from the Siege, but also the much anticipated film Who Killed Alex Aoudeh by Jason Oster and William Yeomans, which screens tomorrow in its premiere at the Berlinale Special, fresh from winning a documentary award in Sundance just last month. It's also a very powerful documentary about Palestine, so we encourage you to come see it. And she also took part of the sound design team of Rosebush Pruning by Karim Aynouz, which screened a couple of days ago in competition. Rana Eid, welcome.
Thank you.
Talal Khoury is a Lebanese award-winning cinematographer. He's based in Paris since 2020. His work crosses between fiction and documentary. His films have screened so many places, including the Berlinale, Vision du Réel, at ITFA, Rotterdam, the Venice Biennale, and at the now deceased Dubai International Film Festival. He has worked on so many films, including the film that most of you or many of you know, Taste of Cement by Ziad Kaltoum, which received over 35 international awards. And also he has worked with Rana Eid on her documentary debut, Panoptic, as well as with many other filmmakers, whether international or Arab. Talal's approach is driven by the search for the soul of each project. He sees composition and light as the subconscious of the story, and the creation of a film's visual language as the essence of his cinematography. Talal Khoury, welcome. I want to start, of course, with you, Abdallah. We've seen an extract from your documentary before we go into the fiction. And
Can you speak slowly? Can you speak slowly?
Yes, I will speak slowly. Sorry.
Thank you.
We started with the documentary so that also the audience get a sense of what you have shot. And we chose this shot together because it was very important for you. So people also see a bit what these children are dreaming of and what they're reflecting on. The fiction is based on several stories that you have written, or not entirely written. We will speak about that. This move between documentary and fiction, I want you to guide us a tiny bit into going into the fiction after having made that documentary. How was it for you? How easy was it? How difficult was it? Just the start to shift between documentary and fiction.
First of all, thank you so much for your coming. In general, actually, I started making cinema by mistake. Like I always say that everywhere. Like I never dreamed to be a filmmaker, and I never wanted to be filmmakers in my life. So I was working in something else, and by mistake, I started making films. And Little Palestine, as my first documentary film, in my mind, it was the first and last one. Like I didn't think that I will make a new film after Little Palestine. So after Little Palestine and what happened with the film, like the film was in several places in the world, and I had stage always to speak about our stories as Palestinian in the way how I like to speak about our stories, not how the strange people like to see our stories. So that convinced me more to continue making cinema. And there is other like personal reason, because I'm traveling for free, so it's good for me as well. No, it's true. Yeah, now because if you are a refugee, I mean, maybe most of you here are refugees, you don't have papers, so you cannot travel. But if you're making film, they will invite you for free and give you visa. So, and as I made my first film by mistake, I made my second film by mistake as well. And I say mistake, I mean like صدفة. Coincidence, shukran. Coincidence, or coincidence is a new word. Okay, by coincidence. So I met my producer, so for this short film, and he's producer for my Chronicle from the Stage as well. And he asked me about if you want to make fiction, if you have something wrote to make fiction. And I said, yes, I have a story, but I'm not sure about fiction. As I was not sure about documentary before, you know. But sometimes if you are like surrounded with the right people, you can make it. It's not about me here. It's not just my decision. It's about who you are working with, who the people surround you, that actually give you chance. So I was lucky, to be honest, in this position. So we start with Sukrania, and after that we start with Chronicle from the Siege. And when we start the Chronicle from the Siege, we didn't know from the beginning that we will make feature film. We want to make short film. After that, we made other short film, and then we decide, okay, we are close to make one, like to make 2 hours. It's feature film. Yalla, we can continue to make a feature film. I think I have to stop.
No, because you mentioned working with the right people, and before we speak with Talal and
I
Rana.
didn't mean Talal, actually. I meant other.
Yes,
Yes.
talk about your producers, but this brings
No,
me...
I'm kidding. Yes, Talal as well, sure.
This brings me to speak about working with the right persons. Your film is about space and time, basically. And I wanted to ask you, you will tell us how you thought of Talal. How important is it for you to have an Arab crew with you on such a project, a crew that really understands what this project is about? Of course, this was an ongoing process doing this film. How important was it for you to have Arab crew members on board, but also the right crew members on board?
3 reasons why I like to work with Arab crew. First, because they speak Arabic. I prefer to speak Arabic on set. I didn't have time on set to thinking about other languages. You know, sometimes you have to be fast to take the moment. So it's better to work with people who understand your language and understand your expression in a good way. Second, because I think we as Arab, we have something good. We have so many good things, actually. But one of the good things what I like so much is that we have solidarity, you know, like it's so easy for me to call Rana, hi Rana, I have a film, I don't have money. And she will say, oh, fuck you, come, you know, but she will say, fuck you at first, and then she will come. You can cut it, sorry. So the second thing, I mean, like it's easy to work with because we have other regulation. Like for example, if I want to crew from Germany, they will start at 10 and finish and after 10 hours, and after that they will ask me for Oberstunden, and you know that already. So it's so hard. The last thing is the most important thing actually. What is very special about Talal and Rana, that they were in the war before. They understand what does it mean, war. Rana, for example, she understands. When I told her, like here I want to hear racket, not bombing. You know, she knows the difference between kind of rackets. That's so bad, actually, that we have this experience about war. We can, like, I can't tell I'm expert. Like from the sound, I can tell you which flight it is, which kind of racket. It's Russian-made or American-made, the same shit. But I mean, the difference of sound. I think the American better because they make it not loud. The Russian make it loud. I don't know why. Anyway, so come back to the film. So it's very important about Talal as well because he's from Lebanon. And Lebanon, what's not good about Lebanon, but they have every year a war. You know, it's like exercise. Okay, this year when the war starts, after 2 months, okay, we have to prepare ourselves. So they have big experience about war. And Talal sharing with me all, like I didn't need time to explain for him, okay, I want to make it in this way, the camera should move in this way, and etc. Because from the beginning we knew this film should be in this cinematography. I mean, because most of didn't see the film, ولكن is handheld, exactly. It's handheld. It's like dabke. No, it's handheld. Yeah, Talal sometimes make dabke. No, it's handheld. So, and about the coloring after that, we were together in a studio and we spoke with Michael. He's not here, but we spoke about the color, how the color should reflection the stories. because and the producer, to be honest, Salah is here. So Salah was producer, but he was creative in this process as well. So he worked with us in this place. That's it.
Thank you. We'll move to you, Talal. You normally like to work with directors when the script is more or less ready, or you support them as the script is being written. In the case of Abdallah, you partnered with Abdallah from a very early point. The stories, because the film is composed of several stories, were not all written, and you embarked on a crazy journey following Abdallah's vision. How was it for you to embark on such an early point with Abdallah in the writing process?
Well, first of all, I love starting in the beginning of the process and the writing, even in the very early stages of writing. Whenever I have this chance to be with the director during the writing, I really enjoy it, and I think it's always a plus. And I'm less happy when a script is finished and done and given to me to be executed. So, but with Abdallah was a different story, because from a common friend of ours, Katia Jajoura, introduced us. Of course, I knew who he was. I didn't see Little Palestine.
We will speak about that.
Okay. But she introduced us, and he started to tell me about a short film. And before leaving, he told me about another short film. And at night, he sent me a PDF file, and I realized that it was the third short film. So I said, okay, calm down. Where do you want to start? And let's try to build something together and try to get somewhere. So it built it up as we speak, and it's just great to be part of something where you see how it's built, and where I know that the visual language that has been created interfered in the story and in the rest of the stories. So it went in crescendo, and yeah, it's a gift really for a cinematographer.
Mm-hmm. To start in the beginning. Rana, you did not start from the beginning, unfortunately. You normally also like to prefer to give your notes on a scenario and understand what you can add in terms of sound design to a particular scenario. And I know that there are so many very nice projects that you declined because you said, I can't add anything as a sound designer to this. With the project of Abdallah, you came very late to the project. The film was practically shot. And you had to adapt in a very, very, very short amount of time. How was it for you to say yes on such a project that came very late and still do it?
Abdallah, I think, is an exception, is a unique person. Because I met Abdallah like a year ago in Doha in a workshop place. So I immediately felt he's a very interesting, crazy, but extremely interesting guy, person, and a director. So I wanted to work with him since I met him. And then he called me with Talal to do the film. I had really little time because I was doing like 3 films in parallel. So I said, I don't have time. I saw the film. I saw what Talal did. I saw the importance of this film. So I said yes. So I called my crew. I said, we're not going to sleep. And there's no money. So they said, are you sure? So they saw the film. They said, we're in. So we were all in. And I had to adapt very quickly to understand the film so I can bring something to the sound design. But even that he's crazy with a few words and a lot of jokes, Abdallah can say exactly what he wants. So I totally understand his voice, and it was a very quick process, really.
And you saw Little Palestine from the start?
I didn't see Little before. I saw it because I needed to have the ambiances of Yarmouk to understand the identity of the space. And that's why I used a lot of sounds from the shooting of Little Palestine to to build the ambience of.
I'm asking that because Talal, you refused to see Little Palestine for a very long time, even though you were already working with Abdallah, and then at some point you had to watch it. So guide us a tiny bit into this decision not to watch it.
All those documentaries that are dealing with war, hardcore documentaries, I shot a few of them, but watching them is very difficult for me because I got really emotional, and even Little Palestine, I watched it over 4 times, and it was very difficult. Brings back all the demons that, you know, I spent years in therapy making peace with them. So we met. He said, "Your Taste of Cement?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Yours Little Palestine?" I said, "Yes." "Did you watch Little Palestine?" I said, "No." So I said, "Maybe you should watch Little Palestine." So I did, but it's really difficult to go through this procedure. Yeah.
And because Talal has been mentioning that, Rana, how important was it for you to come on this project? Because Talal is also you appreciate Abdallah as a person and as a director, but also because Talal has shot your documentary, you maybe understand how Talal functions and what Talal is going to shoot. Because we're speaking about, working with the right crew, how important was it for you to trust the process because you have a cinematographer that you trust?
It's not only because I appreciate Talal's work and he's a friend, and so it's not only about that, but when I saw the film, what was really interesting for me is I heard through the camera work of Talal the voice of Abdallah. So Talal gave me a space to think about sound within Abdallah's voice. So it was really the first time I saw a film with the voice of the director in my head. So I said I'm honored to sound the image of Abdallah, of Talal, and the film of Abdallah.
Yeah, exactly. And I was very happy and touched when we spoke on the phone and she said that, because it's exactly how I thought that this.
Handheld.
Yes. No, but the way he is this is really how he is. Like, you can sit with Abdallah, he can tell you a story where you really laugh to tears, and at the end of the story tells you those 4 people that I just talked about, 4 of them are dead now. So you're really confused and you don't know what to feel. You don't know if you believe him or not, to start with. So this kind of chaos that
confusion.
Yes, that he brings was for me a beautiful material to work with and to develop a camera work and a visual language that can be really as if I would imagine if Abdallah is telling, if there's no word speaking, how would Abdallah see the story? And to merge with this kind of crazy, chaotic, all over the place, but very strict and sincere. It was really a pleasure to be able to do that.
From the personal, in your own connections, I want to speak about another personal value. The topic of this session is really filming the siege. I want to speak a bit about the personal and the siege. And I want to start with you, Abdallah, before we move into the technicalities of making the film. This work that you did is a work of fiction. And I wanted to ask you, you've lived the siege for some years. How was it for you to detach yourself, تنفصل, or not, when thinking about doing the fiction? Was it something that you had those vivid images in your head, or you had to detach them and create your own images?
No, actually, I was always thinking about my memory of the siege, and I use it and always in this film. Like even when I was explained for my actor, my cast, they are here, most of them they are here. So I always was telling them, no, if I was in the siege, I will not do that in this way. I will make it in this way, you know. And even with the camera, when I spoke with Talal, I told him about Little Palestine because I want to make the film similar for Little Palestine in the way how I shot my film. So Talal, for sure, he made his cinematographer of the film, but we tried to make it so much reality. And everything in this film is coming from the siege. Everything, when I say everything, it's everything. Like, because this film is based in true stories, except the scene when one of my characters speak about شو يعني العادة السرية يجيب ظهره
Masturbation.
Masturbation.
Yeah, this word. Yeah. So it's not my story. It's Talal's story. He told me this story. He told me this story and he said, please put it in the film. And like, he gave me the feeling that I have.
Say please.
No, say please, because he gave me feeling like I have supermarket, like everyone can ask what he wants and say, okay, Habibi, you come for free, so you can put whatever you want. So, no, but I liked how he used to, the word, how he,
Masturbate.
yeah, I like how kind. It was so nice, so we put it in the film. And there's other places actually of the film. It comes from Talal stories. Like, I will not mention this now, but in the future, inshallah. So what was your question?
No, you answered my question, but you put me in such a funny moment because you killed my build-up. Because Talal, you also have a very different experience with the siege. I'm gonna kill the buzz now and the mood. You left Lebanon right after the funeral of your father, and I took your permission to mention this in this talk because this is very heavy. I don't know if you remember when the pagers suddenly exploded in Lebanon. This was such something that never happened before. So in that day, you were burying your father and you decided to leave Lebanon right in the same evening so that you don't have to face another siege, potentially. And because also Abdallah mentioned, and you mentioned as well, you don't like to film in war zones, you left the country. What was your fear here when you thought this might be a new siege that you're going into?
Okay. First of all, we shot this film over a year, maybe more, because it was in parts. And during all this time, my father was in the hospital, and the situation, and my life was really it wasn't the best year, let's put it that way. So also this film was giving me like an opening, like I was finally be able to detach and focus on something where I can create. And just before we shot the last part, which is the last part of the film for those of you who've seen it, I had the call that my father passed away. So I called Salah, and he was kind enough to book us 3 tickets, me, my wife, and my son, to Beirut. We went there, and in the moment of the funeral, the pagers went off. Yeah, my father was very Shakespearean personality. So it was I don't know, terrible, crazy, surreal. And usually we know that Israel usually, when they start the war, the first thing they do is they bombard the airport. They didn't do it this time, but usually this is what they do. So the question was, should I stay with my mother at least for a few days, or should I leave? There's no right decision, and I've decided to leave. I will not live another war. I will not let my son live a war, and there's no way. This is my priority. So I arrived to, also Salah booked us tickets to go to Amman. We arrived there, and the way I shot the last part, I remember, so we shot the last part, and a few weeks later, we were in Paris, and Abdallah came in with a laptop. They did the first edit, and he put the laptop, and we watched it, Rayan and me. And it was extremely emotional for me because I saw the amount of violence in the camera work. Maybe I can discuss, maybe I went too far with the camera work, but it was really anger or violence or me shouting somehow. And it was therapeutical, maybe, as well. Thank you. Thank you. And the funny thing is that all of us filmmakers, when we watch at least the first few cuts of a film, we always remember in every shot what happened in the back, in the backstage. We know that. And there's places where I don't remember. I was really so much into it. Something maybe actors live that, maybe, I don't know. But I think in this film, I was more of an actor than a cinematographer, having, knowing how the light and how the composition will evolve. I was just into it, and yeah.
Thank you, Talal. And you were also actor when you were filming the scenes alongside
Well, with you, Ahmed, I'm always an actor.
Rana, unlike Talal, you decided to stay when the war on Lebanon has started, so you lived, in a way, also a siege. While preparing, you said something that I have noted down. You said, the war is an ongoing process. I feel it never stopped. The sound of a film is affected by what is happening around me. It can't be separated from the sound that I'm living on a daily basis, and I feel like I'm always on a survival mode. And I wanted to ask you, how do you continue to do what you do, creating sounds, when you have different sounds happening outside which are much more violent than what you are producing yourself? So also under that siege that Lebanon was in.
Listen, I've been, now I'm almost 50, and in every war, like Abdallah say, I lived like 10 wars now. Every time I say to myself, this is the last time I will leave the next one. And I'm still based in Beirut. There's something related to home and related to the crazy sounds of Lebanon and especially Beirut. And especially the last war after the pages, because this event, and we were with Talal, this event was mute. So I got a call from my sister. She's saying people are falling on the streets. But the first thing I thought, I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing shooting or planes or bombardments. So it was a very mute kind of violence, silent. And it was very scary for me. And when the war started on Beirut, on the south, and then on Beirut, and the planes came, the drone, the bombardments, etc., you know the rest. Every time when I hear those sounds that are really doming the city and making the city indoor, I decide to stay. Because I have to make another sound, and I have to continue in my house, in my studio, producing other sounds. And my sounds will be louder. And this is the sound of me, my identity, and the identity of my son. And there's a very nice sentence that I understood from my son. He's 15. During this war, he's half British, half Palestinian. And I told him, if you want to leave, we can go. He said, my grandfather was obliged to leave Haifa when he was 14. Now I'm 15, I'm not leaving home. So he gave me strength. We recorded a lot of sound, so this was our ritual. So I want to stay home. That's it.
And from recording sounds, we will speak a tiny bit about the technicalities of the film. We also have some clips for you in a bit. Abdallah, the film was made, it was a very, very low budget film. It was also a very independent production that you put together with your producers. The film was shot between Algeria, Jordan, and France, part of really a very low budget setting that you put together. You shot outside of the system, but then you finished the film inside the system in the post-production and all of that. I want to speak a tiny bit first about shooting outside of the system. With the little budget that you had to create a budget for each of the stories that come in the film. Can you guide us a tiny bit into budgeting every story and ensuring that there is money left for the upcoming story? How did you work that out with your production team?
Yeah, actually, okay, this question more for producer than me, but I will answer in the name of them and me because we work together in this process. And when we start making this film, the first part of the film, actually, we didn't put so much money. The first part was like too much low budget. And after that, actually, the big decision coming from the producer, he said, like, we continue make the film, and I will try to invest from my own money in the film. And that played big role to finish the film. But there is something very important in addition for that. So the crew who works with us, because, for example, more than 70% of the film we made in Jordan, for example. And in Jordan, we have big crew who believe in the film, and they support us. And we have here Omar, line producer for this film. And we could get some support from the people, the crew, the organizations who work in Jordan. And the other part, we made it in Algeria. And in Algeria, if you are Palestinian in Algeria, you can take the country, actually. No, really. Like, if you are Palestinian in Algeria, we just went to street. I remember in Batna is the city of my producer. And he told everyone, it's a Palestinian film. And we want, like, extras. You cannot imagine how many people came just to be in Palestinian films. And the day after, like, every newspaper, every small website was speaking about that. Like, we have Palestinian film here. So they support us so much. The crew from Algeria, they came to support us. That played a big role. And in France as well, we shot in studio, not studio. I mean, we have, شو بنقول مكان مهجور?
Abandoned place.
Abandoned place. So my producer was to make his film in abandoned place. So he like occupations this place actually, but bravo, is good. And we use this place to make the part in France. So there's three things. One, the cash money from the producer. Second, the crew, the people who work with us for free. Three, and very important, because in my mind I know that we don't have money. So I was always trying to write a script without money, you know? So everything was like, if you, I can't say that. Okay, 80% of the film is indoor. It's not outdoor. Because indoor we can control the situation. We can control the all elements, material and everything. So these three things together, we managed to make this film out of the system. And after we finished the first cut of the film, we start apply. And we got money just from Arab country. We take from Algeria, Morocco, Tunis, and Qatar. As a country, I'm saying, even if we have production, French production, but we didn't take money from the government, our like fund friends. We producer, Algerian French producer who support us as well. So I can tell, and I'm so proud of that our film is really independent film. Because always we say, like, we make independent films. But if we just thinking a bit, it's a lie, it's a big lie. We don't make independent films, really. I will tell you why. Like, if you go to America and try to make film there, you get money from just one person and you make your film, right? If you want to make film in Europe, you have to go to 100 person. Okay, and everyone has a vision, and everyone has an idea, and everyone wants to change. Habibi, you don't know anything about the siege. Why you tell me, like, I have to make it in this way? You know? So it's not... No, it's true. It's not independent cinema. Like, when I think most of you are filmmakers, you start writing and you write like a scene. French people don't like if we speak about this topic. It's better to make it without this scene if I want to get money from France. So with German, you don't have you have to not write anything. You will not take money from them. No. And actually, it's so funny. It's something else, but I have to mention that I spoke with the director of the festival like 1 week before the festival because I was, you know, the whole things about the festival and Palestine and boycott and etc. And she نصحتني. Advised me to bring lawyer with me. So I did. I bring lawyer for me in this festival. Like in case, like, you know, there is so many topics you cannot speak about it here in Germany in general. There is other things you can speak about it. So we bring lawyer here. So go back to the, yes, go back to the question about independent cinema. So because we have this difficulty and this so much challenging, that make the film authentic. Okay, maybe I have not said that about my film. Others should say that, right?
Now you said it.
Okay, yeah. So I think the people see my film authentic. It's much better like that. Yeah, because we challenge everything. Like we made decor by our hand. We made costume. Like the first scene in the film, the actor is here. He said, "Okay, who will make makeup for me?" I said, "Come on, which makeup?" Like that, bro. Let's make it like this. So, and he went about costume and say, "Okay, I think you looks good with this costume. It looks like clothes from the siege." So, I mean, we tried all the time, but why it was easy to take this decision for me because I know the siege very well. I know that I will not feel a mistake that I make stereotype or I make cliche or. So I always say for new filmmakers, like I'm speaking now as old filmmakers. Yeah, it's funny. Last year I was invited to Berlinale Talent actually, so I could be like this last year, but I boycott them. I came this year and I have microphone. Yeah, sorry, but it's so hard for me to come to festival without microphone. Yeah, so anyone has festival, you should give me microphone. Habibi, I love you. Anyways, so what I really. Independent cinema. So system, yes, about system. Sorry, last word about the system. We finished the film, we got some small money, and we make the film in great way, I think. At the end, we looking for sales agent. So the sales agent watch the film, and they say, you have to cut a bit of the beginning of the film. Like, Habibi, if I want to cut something, I will not come to you. I will apply for funding like 2 years before. We will not work in this situation, you know. We made it in this way because we wanted to be free, because we wanted to make it independent film. If you want to take it, take it. If you want to leave it, leave it. But don't tell filmmakers to cut films or to, like, they're speaking about our films as they're speaking about choose sometimes. Sorry for this word. Like, no one has right to tell you to cut part of your film because he didn't like. Because if you have opinion, you didn't like this part, other people will like it. So we are speaking about like different mentality, different experiences, different cultures, and etc. So the last decision we said, like, okay, even if we don't have sales agent, we will sell the film. And I think you will support us to sell the film. Now we have sales agent, but it's your responsibility, yes, because if you support this film, it means you support independent film. And one day, inshallah, if you make film and you don't have money, you can call me. I will tell you how to make film without money. You have to speak with Salah as well. He is here. He's so brilliant with make films without money. Say, clap for Salah, please, the producer is here. Untaqi as well. So Salah, untaqi. I'm so happy. Last word, wallah. I'm so happy that I have all my crew actually coming here. And some of them, they pay 15 euro. You have to give it back, actually. We don't have money. Like 3 tickets we paid for this, please. So.
Anyway, let's take a break after this. Let's watch the first clip that we have so that we can go into the technicalities. I mean, Abdallah was mentioning the difficulties in funding the film, but then the film has been shot, has been made, so we have a clip, and then we discuss also image and sound on the film, so we go into it. The first clip is the clip number 2 that you have, guys, up there. So of course, we're not in a cinema with the right equipment to hear the real sounds that Rana has done on this, but this gives you an idea. I want to start with you, Talal. We have so many in that particular scene. It's buzzing with actors, it's buzzing with action. Many people come and go. It was very essential for you to ensure that your camera was almost invisible because you wanted all actors to have a freedom of movement in that little space. And also, as we discussed in our preparation, you were very interested in having as little light as possible. How did you build all of that? The camera work on one hand, but also the lighting situation.
Yeah, first of all, you all heard how Abdallah speaks earlier. So there's no way when you're working with a director like this to think in fixed shots. So this is somehow, you know, you can, try to see what I'm saying tangibly. There was two different cameras, two different formats, and it was chaotic in a way, and people coming and going, as you said. And I tried as much as possible not to work with minimum light, but not to have lights inside the room where we're filming on set. And I was very keen on giving the actors really a complete freedom of movement. There's someone, I read this somewhere, a cinematographer was saying that the less limitation you're giving to the actors, the more artistic it's for the DOP. And I do not follow this at all. I think, personally, I would thrive whenever the actors feels at least that they are completely free. And this is where I can build a personal bond with them. And when I have to ask for something, please be there when you say this sentence. It will be taken into very careful consideration because I ask so little. And when they have this freedom to go everywhere, we can really start to work on the blocking and on the camera movement, and not to have some empty spaces, and really to be in the momentum of the moment. And this usually, for me at least, works wherever there's the minimum tripods around. So I really can move wherever I have to move freely. I had the boom operator that did a good job, but really it was really very, very intense in this sense. So I can really concentrate more on the composition than asking them where not to go or where not to look.
Rana, in that particular scene, it's also very busy sound-wise. And you did an incredible job in capturing so many different tones inside the room, but also we hear everything that's happening outside of the room and the violence that is outside. Can you guide us a tiny bit into how does one sound designer go into a scene that is as busy as this one?
The whole film was very challenging, but in this scene in particular, because we had little time, and I decided on this film to do the Foley myself. So I wanted to set the tone. I did the Foley in one night. It was 24 hours, one day and one night of the whole film, but I wanted to do the footsteps, the Foley, the presence of the actors before doing any layers of sound design, because I wanted to feel what they felt during the shooting. I wanted to know the actors, to know them, to know the fears, because you understand the character, the way he walks, the way he moves his body, the way he stops. So I wanted to know them all better. So I did all the layer of Foley, footsteps, presence, all the small details concerning the actors, so I can understand the movements. And then I started layering things. Of course, there's the sounds of the hospital. I think if I'm not mistaken, I did the bombardments at the end, I think, or I can't remember, but it was really layering, layer after layer. But in this whole film, I really needed to do the Foley first, and I needed to do it myself because we didn't have time, the budget was small, and I didn't want the team to be big. We were 3 people because I wanted to be fast, efficient, and very intuitive. I didn't want to talk a lot about the film. It was really intuitive. Layering those layers of sound helped me a lot to understand the space and the way the camera is moving, the way the actors is moving, the positioning, the point of view of Abdallah, the point of view of Talal, so I can have a point of hearing as well. And what really helped me, because I had like a gift from a Palestinian from Gaza, sounds of the 2016 war in the hospital and outside the hospital. So the sounds were, the main sounds of the hospitals were from Gaza. So it was really moving to me using this gift.
Yes.
Thank you. And also there's something regarding the lighting that we were talking about. That Abdallah, when he said that he wanted to look natural, and he made a documentary, a homemade documentary with a small camera. And I come from documentary background. And the essential point between, one of the essential points between filming a documentary and filming a fiction is that in fiction you decide with the camera and then you put your lights. And in documentary you step into a location already lit, and this is where you decide where to put the camera. And this is how the approach also to put the lights outside is really having this documentary approach, that the light is like this. So in the cinema camera, I had one angle, and in the video camera, I had a different angle. Yeah.
Okay. And this is a bit what I wanted to ask you next. The film is shot around several short stories. It's most of the film was built and rebuilt during the shooting process, during the filming process. And you mentioned early on it was very chaotic. It was non-linear. There was a lot of improvisation, and there were 2 things that were very focused from the start. The color of each scene and the camera movement. And I think also the color is very important in that film. Also, it comes afterwards as color grading, what the color grader did, fantastic job. Can you guide us into why is color so important in a film like this?
For me, color can happen or it can be non-existent, and black and white is just fantastic and amazing. But Abdallah is colorful. So really, I really try to be the eyes of the director, or I can be more philosophical. I can be the subconscious eyes of the. Yeah, but then I need more gray hair to say that. So he's very, very colorful, and we spoke a lot, and especially in the color grading when he came, and he was saying how much the colors should look like Yarmouk. And we spoke a lot about that, but I tried to have some similarities between the stories, since there are like 5 stories in all, and have 2 in parallel together, and emphasizing on the reds and the yellows, and the second part of the film, which happens in the studio in France, where we really play with the palette of colors and lights, because it starts around the end of the day, say 4 p.m., and it ends at night. So I was able to play with this. And also, you want to try, being a cinematographer, working in these conditions, especially when there's no money, which is the only good thing when there's no money, is that you can try things. at least, you know, when there's a lot of money, you cannot try. Your hands are tied. So when there's less money, the less money there is, the more space there is for you to go and try things you wouldn't dare to try if it's a €2 million budget. So I really wanted to try things I've never tried before, really like playing with this palette of colors. And I hope I was able to do that.
We'll also discuss, Rana, in a bit, the things that you tried, because it was also a lot of experimentation. You mentioned the Foley art. We will speak about that in a bit. But we also have a second clip which you wanted to show with us. So let's watch the last clip. You were sound mixing the film in January in Paris. And I remember Abdallah told me that the sound mixer didn't believe that Rana did this job in 3.5 weeks, I think. The sound design, but also the Foley art that you did. And I remember when we were speaking, Rana, also preparing this, you said that the experiences of war teach you to be practical. Also now what Talal has been saying, experimenting. You have to be efficient and practical because you don't know if something bigger than you is coming tomorrow, and you have to be able to feed the team with sounds. I remember you were telling us in a session when you were doing your featured Chilean film La Ola with Sebastian Lelio, you were faster than the whole team because you didn't know if the war on Lebanon would suddenly erupt, and so you were submitting everything as fast as possible. With this film, basically, you were looking at war from your balcony, and you were hearing the sounds from your balcony. So I wanted to ask you, with regards to this scene in particular, you know, how much the outside has, we see a scene outside as well. How much has that influenced you with your choices? Also, the scene is beautifully designed. How much does the outside, the real outside, influences something like the outside in a film?
The whole experience of the outside versus inside in a war is really inspired me to work on this scene, because during the war there's, and this is something we discussed with Abdallah during the process, that there's the objective sounds, the sounds of the war, and the sounds you have inside your head. When you are extremely afraid and fed up and you have no idea how much it's you're gonna live through this, if you're gonna make it or not. And I really identified with this character, Arafat, because at some point he's mute, so he doesn't talk throughout the film. At the end, he says one word. But during the war, you are muted. So I feel I'm muted. I don't have a voice anymore. So I need to understand what I'm listening to so I can survive. So those sounds are really the sounds in my head during wars. Based on the tinnitus you have, like, and it's inspired by the drone, because you have the drone and you have those tinnitus in your head, and you have you can't breathe. So it was really fast doing this design, because it was really based on my life. So I felt when I saw the film that I can be Arafat. I can be this guy who becomes crazy and he's mute. I can be Arafat. There's a little Arafat inside me, I guess. So it was very, very quick, the process, because like you said, we always have a challenge of urgency. We have to finish quickly, and in this film, I didn't have time. The budget was low. I needed to be very efficient and very quick, but it really resembles the rhythm of the film. So it helped me, because I had 3 weeks. I have 3 people with me, we are 3 people. I have 2 other people with me. And but this helped me understood the film. I understood the film better because I was in a rush and I wanted to be efficient and have a good sound and be on the same level of the actors, the directing, the DOP, the costume, everything. So I didn't want to fail this. I learned a lot because in every film there's a challenge. And our challenge, in general, in Lebanon, working in Lebanon is time. And in this film in particular, I learned a lot. So, yeah.
Before we open the floor to the audience, Abdallah, you said, you want to comment on that? Yes?
Just about this particular scene, and I want to talk about friendship and solidarity. I wasn't able to be in this scene, and I was an assistant to a Lebanese cinematographer called Miguel Abu Rous for 5 years when I was focus puller and all that. And actually I asked her, and she shot the opening of the film, and she shot this shot, and she shot a few others. And she did a great job, because really when I saw it, I didn't see the difference. And the only thing I told her, just watch the film, you know what I did, you know what to do. And and it's been years we haven't worked together, like years. But this friendship in our industry sometimes can be really, really very beautiful. And I'm very happy that it happened like that.
I think also we're in a room where friendships emerge, and this is basically at the core of Berlinale Talents, because it's such a space that enables you to meet new people, to have new encounters, to find a potential partner, to find a person you want to work with. And with the state of the world today, distances do not matter anymore. We can also work digitally to do our things, like Rana, we spoke about the Chilean film. Rana did it from her sound studio in Beirut. So I think you are in a very good space and place to really react to what Talal has been saying. So I advise you and urge you to use it, because these encounters are really, really the speciality of Berlinale Talents. I want to finish with you, Abdallah, with one particular sentence which may be important also for the people here. You said, we've been speaking about low budget all the time, but then in the end, the post-production process for you was very, very, very important, because you said the quality was raised in post-production. Like you said, the sound was raised, the color grading was raised. And I also want to finish on this. You did the film that you wanted to do, and you gave it a feel with the post-production process. How important was it for you to fund the post-production so that you have financial support to finish the film the way you see it?
A simple answer. It was important. I mean, yeah, it was important to get money to finish the film. I meant
from the beginning, were you aware that most of the film also would take shape in its post-production, and that's why you really wanted to have financial support as opposed to the shooting process?
I don't know how to answer about this question, because I really it's important, because we shoot in different country, in different time, in different camera, and with different conditions. So in post-production, it was very important, very, very important for this film, exactly, because we want to make everything like a film, We didn't shoot in the same period, in the same country. For example, I can't tell you, even parts, okay, you didn't watch the film, but even in one story, we made it in 2 countries. Even it's one scene, because we could not finish the scene in Algeria, so we went to Jordan and we continue. I start running in Algeria and I finish in Jordan. No, really, so one of the scene, you will watch the film, so I start running in Algeria, and after 6 months, I continue running in Jordan. So if I don't have good post-production, how can I be able to finish this film, and the people will not recognize that there is something, it's not building in good way. And to make that, you need to work with the best people in this domain. you know. So I tried to work with the best sound designer, but he was not empty, I mean. So I spoke with Rana. I said, okay, we can try. No, sorry, because the people start sleeping, and you know, so I can see some people like make, what is this? Yeah, so, no, I mean, I said we want to work with Rana. And about colorists, so I work with the same person who worked with my Little Palestine. So he didn't, actually we didn't speak about color so much before, because I told him, okay, make something like The Siege. And he said, don't worry. So Talal continued work with him. So I was in right hand with good people who understand very well the story, who understand who I am and how I'm thinking. And to make that, we need money. So the producers here, they did their job to find money, and other people support us to finish the film. So
I also want to mention the very important role of your editor, Alex Bakri.
yes, okay.
Because
I have good editor, wallah.
Because Alex also did a phenomenal job in bringing these stories together and working so seamlessly all the layers of the film. You want to mention?
I want to say about the whole post-production thing, because being a DOP is the second part, but the post-production people really raised the bar. Like what Alex did, he did an amazing job. He played with the shots that I shot. I didn't recognize them. And what Rana did is really take the sound and the story to another level. And Michael, the colorist, understood. I was trying to explain to him what I want, and he understood better than me. So it's always really the process of Abdallah trying to explain to me what he wants. I take parts of what he wants, and then I do something based on what he wants, but something different. The same thing happens in post. So I think really what the post-production did is really raised the film on the standards that we have today.
And with that, we want to open the floor for questions, if you do have any. Yes, there is a question. There is a microphone that is coming your way so that everyone can hear you in the third row, if I'm not mistaken. Raise your hand, please. Yes.
Hello. I want to say welcome to Berlin. I studied in Berlin for 3.5 years. I'm a student at TU Berlin. By mistake, as you say, by mistake, I'm an engineer. But I want to, engineer by mistake, by parents pushing me, you are an engineer, you can't go. And but by choice, I want to become a director. And I want to start it to addressing the elephant in the room. I'm from Iran. Iran. Yeah. And the situation in Iran is that it's changing. Political situation in Iran is changing. Just in 14 February, 2 days ago, we were in Munich. In October 1st era, we are reportedly, police report us that 250,000 people came there and shot out for changing the government in Iran. The things I done in 3.5 years in Berlin is like what you tell about living in the siege. Because in Iran, whatever I done here, going protest against Islamic Republic, it's if I get back to Iran, I can get death sentence from Islamic government. It's really, really possible if you research it. So I cannot say I understand what is happening in your life because it's devastating, living in camp. And when you go and study the history of Gaza, the challenge between Palestinians and the Israelis, if you go further, all complex. You cannot find any solution. For me, there is no solution because I live in Iran. We go to a school. Except Russia and China, we say deaths to every part of the world. Very radicalism right now. I'm afraid about the situation after Islamic Republic. It's a radicalism shift to other side. It's really possible. It's really possible. Because we went to the protest, we have Israeli flag in protest. If you are going to Berlin, we have 5 weeks straight in Saturday protest, more than 50,000 people. Berlin police say always. The report is official. For me, if I become an artist, I want to make a movie that every 2 parts of the situation can understand. Because my experience I'm very excited to talk with somebody from your region, from Palestine. Because I only talk with Yusuf in Berlin Deutsch course. He was from the Arab person he's Muslim Israeli. So he has an Israeli passport. I just talked with him.
Why I can't speak now? Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Can I continue?
No, continue.
I just talked with him about peace between Israelis and Palestinians.
About peace?
Peace.
You want to ask me about peace?
No, peace, soul, peace talks.
Yeah, but I'm not sure this is the topic of.
No, I will continue, and I can make it short.
I can't understand.
Long story short, I talked with him. After 2 sessions, he don't want to talk with me. That's why, if I want to make a movie, how can I make a movie that an Arab person can understand, an Israeli person can understand?
I'm very sorry, but I'm not sure we're here to talk. We're not the UN, and we're also not solving the world.
No.
We're here to discuss a film. And also, I have to be very, I'm sorry, I have to be very...
I think I got his question. I will answer.
I watched a Munich film by Spielberg. There's a very famous scene in the movie.
Okay.
Steven
Yeah, it's so
Spielberg.
shitty film.
Munich?
Yes, it's so shitty film.
We can agree or
No, sorry,
disagree
but
on
I-
Munich,
it's
but
my
tell us,
opinion.
what is your question so that we can try to...
The scene is very important for me. There is undercover Mossad person and there is one person who is in the resistance. They're all talking together, and that conflict for me is that show me this situation, that the movie can, for you, you don't like the movie, that I can say, how can I, as a director, like someday, become a movie, make a movie that the Arab person can understand, and also Israeli person can understand. That for me, become a neutral, unbiased, making movie that every part can understand. That's my whole question, as a director. Everybody could love me as a director. That's the only question.
Okay, that's actually like you mentioned so many things. I don't have time to answer all what you said, but now when we are speaking about genocide in Gaza, we're not speaking about peace. It's very important to understand that. In the same moment now, if you open your phone, you will see that at least Israel killed 2, 3, 5 Palestinian souls in Gaza or other places. So we'll not speak about peace. So if you want, you can speak about freedom. So yes, the second question that you want other people understand your film. So there is no recipes, there is no rules for that. Like I can't tell you make the film in this way. Actually, if you're thinking in this way, I think you are thinking in the wrong way. You know, because you have to make film about what you want to share with other people. It's about feeling. It's not about the people understand you or not understand you. That's your job. It's not my job to tell you like you have to make film and the Palestinian and Israeli like it. I will never. I think that we both will love the same film. You know. So thank you.
Further questions? Yes, there is a question in the back.
First of all, thank you very much for being here and having this talk with us. I wanted to ask about the free camera that you have talked about, and if there has been any kind of choreography for the actors that you practiced, or if it was really just like a take 1, take 2, take 20, and then you get the take that you want and you just go with the flow. Thank you very much.
Yeah. There's blocking. It's not choreography, it's blocking. So blocking is when you ask the actors to move in a certain way in a certain moment of time. And usually, how I usually try to do it, and this is where Abdallah exceeds in doing this, we really leave the actors to move the way they feel and the way they want to do it, and then we start to say, you cannot walk with this person in parallel because I won't be able to see both of you. I need a step between both of you, or whenever you say this sentence, please be here. Or, you know, there's also a trick that if you see the lens, it means the lens sees you. So also there's a way of speaking with the actors without being technical. And I wouldn't say ask an actor or an actress to stand this way. I would tell them stand wherever you want as long as the lens is in your visual. as long as you see the lens, be wherever you want. So it's basically, you can call it choreography, but it's more blocking. And blocking comes in the rehearsals, and then we start to do take after take.
Did you shoot a lot of takes? Did you have the chance to do that a lot?
Yeah. There's one shot where you cut. You didn't continue in the first clip, and this shot is a shot that it's one of my favorite shots because it's a very long take, and it goes from one place to another, and then coming back. And I usually I'm very calm. I'm very calm on sets. I almost never raise my voice, but this shot drove me crazy. He did it 27 times. Most of the times are for reasons that are unexplainable, only to put the tension up. And I was very tensed, obviously, as I said, my personal reasons. So sometimes we would hear a wrong word, but it was off camera, and he would shout cut, and I would go crazy. It's off camera, and do it again, and it's handheld, and the camera was heavy, and so we did it 27 times. But yeah.
But it's very important to mention, like this part of the film, because the whole situation is nervous situation, like stress. So, and I told some of my crew, like, I will make the set stress.
Yes, but you didn't tell me.
Yeah, sometimes I forget. Sorry.
You, it's fine, I understand.
I didn't tell
me.
anyone. Now, okay, everyone say I didn't tell you, so I didn't tell anyone. Maybe I called my mom, told her.
Do we have questions, further questions?
From our
Yes,
friend.
there is a question over there.
Hey guys, so you said that you made the film based on your personal experience, right?
Yes.
So during the research phase, what are the procedures that you did so that the movie isn't an autobiography also? So what are the extra things that you did away from your personal experience to tell the story?
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
There isn't. It's all you.
Answer, go on. Be the director, take my... Wallah, we work hard to have microphone, he want to answer. So, no, actually, okay, that's a so complicated and smart question. Like the whole story is true story, but the whole film is fiction film. I mean, everything, like I rewrite the whole stories. I played with the time, I played with the reaction sometimes, like I put reaction, like this story, okay, how can I explain that? So yes, I have so many things I added for the film to make it fiction and to make it able to be filmed, to watch it in the cinema. Yeah. You got my answer? Okay, we can speak later because you asked so complicated question. It's smarter than my mind, sorry. And did you watch the film? Did you watch the film? Ah, okay, you have to watch the film. After that, you can answer me.
Further questions?
Okay, all right, we need link. Guys, come on. Why you leave the stage for right?
Yes, now we have questions.
No, not you. Yeah. not him, other.
Here, up front.
Yes. He is my friend, he will make joke, I know, so.
Yeah, I noticed in the film yesterday that I was really trying to keep that documentary style. And I wanted to ask, like, what was the process of keeping it, that documentary style, like to get inside the scene also for you, Talal, like, especially with, there was the scene in the hospital where I felt, okay, there was the sequence of images, but still there was a lot of things where the camera kind of broke the plan or something like that. And yeah, I wanted to ask, especially like some of the scenes, especially in the apartment when they were like...
Don't burn the film. Yeah,
no,
yes.
I won't. But it's just like I felt that the camera has a certain relationship with the actors, and it's also the reaction of things that were not planned, for example. And just wanted to ask how you went about
You
it.
can.
And how was it for you to approach, to keep that documentary feel, even though you still try to find your framings once in a while to get that balance?
It's really working with the actors and at the same time opening the doors for them to, like for instance, there's a scene of the mirrors where I think, and we just mentioned a few paintings, mainly the kiss of, and they started acting. This is the only thing I said because I was during the rehearsals, and this I mentioned the painting of the kiss, and they started moving around it and making their own movement based on that, and they took it somewhere else, obviously. In this particular film, I tried in this particular film, I tried to be in a very wide angle because they are intimate, and I didn't want to be between both of them. But for instance, in the first part, I was very much closer to the person. So maybe, and this also interferes, I hope positively, with the acting. So whenever I'm really close to the actor, and there's also another trick that I do quite a lot, because I use the viewfinder. I'm still old school. I don't like the LCD, and I use a lot my left eye. So I open my left eye. I look at the actors. So it's okay. Either to comfort them, or to make them nervous, or to help them with a reaction. But you cannot do this if you haven't built a certain relationship with them. You cannot come the first day on set and act like this. It would be very weird. So it's a beautiful process, and I'm happy that it got into making someone like you, for instance, feel that it's really a documentary, not only with the camera movement or with the grain or with the colors or whatever, but the soul of it is more of a soul of documentary. Thank you.
Thank you about that. And also,
There is a question behind you, and it will be the last question for the evening. Someone else? Yes, please go ahead.
My question is, you touched upon the editing also with Saleh Bakri, and I'm curious, how was the process?
Alex Bakri, Saleh.
Oh, sorry, Alex Bakri, sorry. How was the process with the editing?
Okay. Alex Bakri, he has a problem. He loves to go to toilet every 1 hour. We work together. I slept in his studio. It's one room. So about editing, he is actually he's wonderful editor. To be honest, he is really wonderful editor, and he hide the film. Like he make it much better, and he has a vision as well. He is not like a hand, you know. He thinking, he tell you advice, he hear from you, and we work together in very great way. And I always advise everyone actually to work with Alex Bakri if you don't have other good editor. No, I mean if you're looking for someone good, you have to work with Alex Bakri. And the editor, like you know, everyone says that. Like the film written 3 times, one paper, and that second was camera, and third was editing. So I didn't write, Talal didn't work, Alex make the film at the end, you know? So with Alex, I mean, like I'm kidding. So Alex, he make good work, yeah, thank you. Last question, please, from this guy, Haram. خلاص?
خلاص.
Because, yeah.
I would like to thank Abdallah, Rana, and Talal for sharing their experience with us on working on this very particular film that is as intense in content but also in making. So thank you so much. The film still has screenings, including one tomorrow. So if you have tickets for it, if you're one of the lucky ones that still can get tickets for it, because it's actually sold out. But always look out for tickets, because sometimes you might be lucky if someone cancels. Go watch the film. Otherwise, I think there are 2 more fantastic days of talents program, so make sure to check the rest of the program before you all go and get nice drinks at the Berlinale Talents Party. This was my second talk at Talents. I would like to thank the Talents team for really championing voices and making sure that every story and every identity and every part of the world. We had 2 talks on Palestine, which is also very, very, very special here in Berlinale Talent. So I want to thank the team for making up this program.
And can I say last word? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I have 2 minutes. I want to thank you, Rana. I want to thank you, Talal, really, for everything. I love you. That's it.
Thank you.
I hope you are not regret to pay 15 euro for this session. We will have